You know, if the devil ever would manifest himself in the form of a dessert, it would pretty much look like this. It's a 4-layer treat topped with chocolate, cookie dough, caramel, and a crunchy shortbread layer. And it's so diabolical and so delicious, it is bound to give you a sweet tooth, type 2 diabetes, and a really great mood. That's why we're gonna make the Billionaire Bar. So let's get cooking. Now the first layer of this treat is going to be the shortbread, and I always thought this would be complicated to make, but actually it's perhaps the simplest thing that I ever come across. What you're going to do is take out a big ass bowl and dump in some butter that is at room temperature. Then we throw in a cup of caster sugar and a half cup of brown sugar. And then you'll mix the hell out of it. And if you're not a poor sod like I am and have a mixing machine without having to worry that the shit flies across the room, use it. By everything that is holy and mighty, use it. So everything has been nicely incorporated and has a creamy consistency and should pretty much look like this. Then the next step is we're going to add some regular flour and sift it into the butter mixture. After that we give it another good old mix around and that's it. Now you know when it's ready when you can take a bit of the mixture and press it. And it will hold nicely together. So with that done, we dump the mixer into a dish covered with baking paper, press everything together with something heavy. I honestly don't know why I used a soup spoon, but it worked in the end. And then we crank the oven up to 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on which countries actually use that complicated system. Really? So anyway, after 45 minutes, we take it out and it should look like this in the end. Beautiful and a golden crust on the outside, the way it should look like. We just let it nicely cool for about 30 minutes, and then in the meantime we start out with the next layer. The next layer will be the caramel sauce. And into a pot at medium heat, I'm going to throw in 2 cups of white sugar, splash about half a cup of water on it, and stir it around. Now after about 7 minutes the sugar will start to bubble up, and on the sides some sugar crystals are going to develop. So you're going to take a wet brush and wipe them off the sides. Now it should take a while for the sauce to develop, and it will soon change its color until it looks like this. And that's pretty much the stage where you switch off the stove and take it off the heat. With that done, we throw in some heavy cream and should start to sizzle up. And the whole mixture might start to harden, but no worries. We'll just casually stir the mixture for about 2 minutes until everything has been nicely incorporated and looks like this. Smooth and silky, just the way I like it. I also throw a pinch of salt in, because at this stage it does have a bitter flavor with that. But it gradually turns into something really delicious once you put that in. So we're done and we can finally pour it on top of the shortbread. And now, the food porn moment. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Okay, so I can't actually use the original song, but you know where this is going. Anyway, we pour everything nicely in, distribute it along the layer, and then let it chill in the freezer for about 2 hours. So we got that going, which is nice, and next comes the cookie dough layer. Now I still had some of the leftover mixture from the shortbread, so I decided to use it for the cookie dough. The best part of this, it totally comes without the eggs. And what I do is I throw in a cup of cream and some good quality vanilla extract and give it another mix around. And what makes a good cookie dough a good cookie dough? The chocolate chips. So I toss 3/4 of a cup into it and mix it in as well. And that's done. And now the last layer, the chocolate layer. So what I did is I put a bowl on top of a boiling pot of water and let the chocolate melt over medium heat. And occasionally I stir and stir around just to get it nice and smooth. Also I realized I had some leftover chocolate from the cookie dough. So I said screw it and chucked it in. With that the chocolate was nicely incorporated. I wanted to give it a taste, so I put my finger in there and it was really good. However, it was not really a smart idea to put my finger into hot chocolate. Here's a hint why. In the end, I also put another drops of vanilla extract and stirred it in. We then lay the last layers of the cookie dough. Spread everything nicely across. And then pour over the chocolate on top. With that done, we let that also chill for another 2 hours until it looks like this. And that's it. You're pretty much done. Now, to be honest, this is something I would not recommend making every week or even monthly. This is definitely something you can whip up for a party or even a special event. And is this really worth a billion as its name implies? Well, not really, but it's an amazing and great treat, that's for sure. The combination of crunchy shortbread layer and the soft cookie dough, the dark and herb taste of the chocolate and sweet salty caramel sauce truly makes this an explosion of flavors. And it's damn good. So, I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I'll see you soon when I'm back in the kitchen. Ollie in the kitchen. Until then, take care. Hey, and you know what? I'm glad that I could use that song from Joe Cocker in my video. It goes to show that YouTube and some musicians can be... Aww.